Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Don't you guys find it so interesting how Democrat outrage is always misdirected? It's almost always aimed in the wrong direction. I mean, we've got some mostly peaceful but very fiery protests currently sweeping the nation, but especially in the epicenter of Los Angeles right now. And you know that's cause for outrage. People attacking officers, smashing windows, burning cars, looting stores. That's certainly cause for outrage. But Democrats, of course, don't give a crap about any of that. No, they're focused on a real important issue. They're focused on the real outrage here. They're losing their damn minds over ICE agents wearing masks. Yeah, that's where we're at. Ignore the burning, ignore the looting, ignore the violence, ignore the destruction, and attack the ICE agents and National Guard that are there to help bring safety and stability to the community. It's exactly like I tell you, the outrage is always in the wrong frickin' direction. These people are not serious. And one thing is becoming increasingly clear, these Democrats are actively trying to endanger law enforcement for simply doing their jobs. It's very clear why they want to unmask ICE agents. They want to put frickin' targets on their backs. Let's continue to expose the lunatic thinking of the left. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so I want to lead with this clip, which is actually a little bit old. This is from the 2nd of June, but in terms of the context, it's the perfect clip. Just take a look.
I'm going to answer the mask question. A lot of agencies were invited to come out 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles where we ran an operation where ICE officers were doxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is. They are wearing those masks because we ran an operation with the Secret Service where we arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorists?
That was acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, who stormed back to the podium to set the frickin' record straight. Why do ICE agents wear masks? I don't know, seems kinda self-explanatory now, doesn't it? Because the same lunatics who are riding in the streets are taking photos of their faces and posting them on social media, not tagged with friendly messages, but with calls to violence and death threats against them and their families. These ICE agents are essentially being hunted online by leftist psychos who, like I said in the intro, are trying to put targets on their backs. And of course, instead of protecting these officers, the Democrats in the media are pouring fuel on the fire. They're deliberately putting these agents in harm's way by now demanding that they reveal their identities in the middle of this riot climate that they've created. And if you needed proof, well, just take a look at this clip. We've got California elected officials now pushing a bill to ban law enforcement from covering their faces.
People covering their faces, impersonating police officers, it erodes trust in law enforcement and it undermines community safety. That's really what this bill is about. And I think many law enforcement officials, legitimate law enforcement officials, would welcome putting in safeguards to ensure transparency and accountability. And I think the concern is a lot that's happening. There are a lot of people who are engaged in these enforcement actions, and we don't know, are they federal? Are they contractors? Are they local law enforcement? And so we're requiring that people not have to wear masks except for some very limited exceptions, and that there be identifying information ensures that we know who is involved here. It's also critical to uphold our state and local laws, including our sanctuary law, SB 54, which says that local law enforcement are not going to be involved in immigration enforcement. So this is, I think, furthering the state's efforts to ensure legitimate law enforcement purposes and to protect Californians.
Yep. While ICE agents are under assault, the Democrats' solution is to take away their anonymity and leave them defenseless. Starting to see a trend here, right? They don't want the Marines to come in to protect ICE agents, and on top of that, they want to unmask them so their identities can be made public and then circulated online, and then they can be either harassed or hunted. It's absolutely despicable, but these are the calls coming from all of these Democrats.
But these people are wearing masks and are totally unidentified, and the question is why. It's completely improper, and again, one has to assume they're hiding something or they're hiding misbehavior, because otherwise why would they be wearing masks and denying their identities?
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain. This is not the 1930s. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will, of course, be identified. That, in fact, is the law.
If they're not ashamed of what they're doing and they're not doing anything illegal, why are they wearing masks covering their identity? Don't the American people have a right to see who they are? Are they a new form of secret police? Tell the ICE agents take off their masks, Mr. President.
They're obsessed with tearing these officers down and pretending as if they're the Gestapo, when the actual truth is they're dealing with complete lawlessness in sanctuary cities. Democrats have turned these cities into freaking war zones, and we got these patriotic servicemen and women who come in to actually clean up the mess, and Democrats tell us that they're the freaking Gestapo. It's absolutely disgusting. Oh, and actually, just to make the point here, look at this Rick Wilson tweet. An ICE agent allowed his mask to slip, figuratively and literally, while tussling with protesters in Chicago. The media should identify this government employee and question him through the proper channels as to why he conducts his official functions while hiding his identity. Then Rick Wilson reposts it and says, "Hello, Internet." In other words, saying, "Internet, do your thing." They're encouraging violence and harassment aimed at ICE agents. I mean, the point is proven. I think Tom Homan laid it out perfectly recently.
Is Cuomo a joke?
Yeah, and you made it clear that the agents are wearing masks to protect themselves and their families. Not only are they being doxxed, their spouses are being doxxed, their children are being doxxed. And you said it, assaults up over 400%. They're doing the job that Congress told them to do, and they appropriate them funding to do. And they're executing orders that a federal judge says, arrest that person, deport that person. They're not making this up. They're trying to protect themselves. The job's already dangerous, but it's much more dangerous now because of the rhetoric you're hearing from the Democrats.
Well, Swalwell wants to arrest ICE agents, and the other Democrats said it's kidnapping what they're doing.
Well, Swalwell, he's far from brilliant, right? So again, a member of Congress, if you don't like what ICE is doing, then legislate. Change the law, because we're enforcing the laws they enacted. We're not making this up. So it's another Democrat lawmaker who wants to target ICE on enforcing the laws they enacted. I was in Los Angeles when the riot started. We were there serving 3 criminal search warrants, part of a criminal investigation into money laundering, tax evasion, and customs fraud in the garment district. And it's part of a bigger investigation about how some of this funding makes it to Colombia and Mexico to fund cartel activity. That's what we were doing. It wasn't an immigration raid. It wasn't a migrant raid. We weren't looking for people different than us. We were serving criminal warrants by part of a bigger overarching criminal investigation. I was there the first 2 nights when 1,000 people surrounded that federal building. We had employees inside. We had the aliens we arrested inside put at danger. They were breaching that building. I saw what was happening on the ground. Thank God President Trump deployed the National Guard. It was a great move.
Exactly. ICE's job has never been more dangerous. And it's because of Democrats like Gavin Newsom, Jerry Nadler, Tim Walz, Rick Wilson. Thank God that President Trump stepped in and deployed the National Guard. What we're witnessing right now is the Democrat Party actively aligning itself with mob rule. Democrat leadership enables violent protests while demonizing law enforcement. It's completely backwards. And they do this while pretending to be the party of democracy and decency. Oh, and in an election season, while being the party of law and order and safety, right? But then the moment the election's over, the real agenda is exposed every time now, isn't it? The truth is staring you in the face. These people don't want law and order. They want power through fear. And they're willing to burn the system down, burn cities down, and endanger federal officers in their efforts to get it. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.